Great first half. I was really excited for our guys' first half. Thought we played with great tempo. When you kind of have a plan in mind of what you want your bench to be and to do, that was kind of it in the first half. You know, Thomas DeJagua comes in and you have to account for him, and he goes nuts there in a stretch and takes a close game and jumps it up. And you know, Jeff came in and had 11 at half, and to play majority of the night without Juwan, but it was you know, I kidded our team after the game. I said, you know, it was. You know, a couple things happened today. You know, Thomas missed a three and Phil made some. And so that was great to see Phil get going and get off the snide, which, you know, that was just a matter of time. But loved our energy, loved our pace, loved our tempo the first half, loved our aggressiveness. Mitchell Solomon had maybe the most dominant half I have seen in a long time for a guy that scored two. Just an absolute one-man wrecking crew on the glass. He has been that. 6 offensive rebounds in one half. You've got to account for that, and for him to finish with 13, that's a heck of a night for anybody at any level. And then I thought we got good play out of Devon Dillard. Without Cam today, Devon had a good week of practice, and other than a couple missed layups. For Devon, I thought his performance was very solid. So into the Christmas holidays, and then 19 dogfights coming up. So we'll come back on the 26th and jump into running the Christmas break out of them, and 2-a-days, and get ready for Press Virginia.
With Phil, did you ever at any point sense that Phil was losing any kind of confidence at all with the way his shot was going?
I haven't said one word to Phil. I thought I guess I did. I got mad at him one day and I said, I'm tired of watching you miss shots when I know how hard you work. But other than that, there's a shooter's psyche that's different. And, you know, I was never at his level, but, you know, I always had the mentality if you miss 10, I was going to make the next 10, and I've always felt that way with Phil, and I know how hard he works, and it's just a matter of time. And now he's going, and he hit his last 2 against Wichita, and now he's got going. Better account for him.
Talked about your bench earlier. How important of a role will they play going into conference play next week?
That's why we've done everything that we have done to this point. They've got to help us. And it's a long season, and to get 51 points today from our bench, we've tried to develop that group into a group that is meaningful. I didn't think Jeff had one of his better games, and he had 13 and 7, and that kind of productivity that'll pay dividends over the course of time and what we do. I think the one thing that bothered me the most was we played flat. We played with very little energy in the second half, and we can't do that. And that's something we've got to correct. But our bench and playing 9, 10, 11 guys, and I felt positive about Devon today. And you know, you start adding up the numbers by position. A lot of productivity happening on that front line. Leighton Hammond's only had 2 today, but 7 rebounds. I'll take that every night from Leighton, and that's what we've got to find is it's numbers by group, and we're getting there.
You got a team that was 12 and 20 last year. It came off, you know, a rough go of it, some changes. Now you're 10 and 2. Have you seen a change in terms of the mentality and the confidence level of the guys as you head into the conference season?
Yeah, every day. And every day is a learning experience for me with them. Today, you never know. And I knew how good Corpus is, and I knew how good Rashawn Thomas is, and Amin. Those 2 guys are really good players. And they play in a lot of levels. But the one thing I do know is you got a Christmas break. You've got a young team. You've got a team that you've never coached in this situation before. A lot of guys can pack it up and, they think about other things other than the moment in the game. We had a really good week of practice, so I was pretty upbeat about that. We've talked a lot about momentum, keeping that up, doing that with work, and we've got to come back after the break. But there's a lot of firsts. This team, I think, is playing with confidence. I think that we even gain confidence when Juwan doesn't play well. We prefer him play great every night, but tonight was one of those nights he's in foul trouble, and most nights Juwan's going to be really good, and I think that we saw that team at Wichita, but I'm really proud of a 20-plus point win against a 7-win team, and at this point, and he's a non-factor.
Coach, Thursday before Christmas noon game, over 8,300 people here. Were you happy?
Unbelievable. Our people, our administration, our marketing, our development, everybody that goes into that is to be commended for that. A big thank you. We're going to make this place rowdy again, and to come out and support it like that. I owe Dave Hunziker a Diet Coke. But I couldn't be more pleased and thankful, and it means a lot to our guys. And it was fun today, and I hope that there's more than that on the 30th. So, but a big thank you to the fans and a very Merry Christmas to the Cowboy Nation and all of our fans, because they've been wonderful to the Underwoods and made us feel very, very welcome and very appreciated, and that means a great deal.
You guys are knocking on the door of the top 25. You're going to play the number 11 ranked team in the nation. I mean, I know Big 12 is always tough. You talked about all of those games, the mentality you're going to have to take into them. But litmus test, I mean, finding out where you really are. How important is this one in that process?
Well, I think it's, and you guys will find with me, I don't put any more value in conference play on any one game than any other. They are all hard, and they are all present a different challenge. And it is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And it's about you're going to see a style of play. Then we got 2 on the road. To win this league, you got to win on the road. You better win at home too. Those are the things that I think you can't look too far ahead. You can't look past the next one, so to speak. You've got to do your job that night. And if you don't, in this league, you're going to lose. And it doesn't matter who, where, you're going to lose. And so litmus test, we're prepared. I think, I hope. We've played more road games than anybody. We've played blue bloods. We've been beat. We've had to come back after a loss. Played in front of 17,000 at Maryland. Played in front of 15 at Wichita, top 20 team. So I think we're prepared. But every single night is a different challenge, and different dudes on the other team, so to speak. So, and I know one thing. That big bear on the other end on the 30th, he'll have him prepared. I've been through his Christmas practices before.
West Virginia's a team that gives most teams a lot of fits because they don't see it a lot. You guys see it every day now. You're familiar with it. Is there some advantage in that for you and your guys?
I don't know yet. I don't want to say that there is. I think it's Hugs does a great job of disguising their presses. They come at you at different times. I was bothered today. Jeff Carroll just had the ball taken out of his hands. Good players don't get the ball taken out of their hands. We're going to see that for 40 minutes. You don't think that, that's stuff you can't do. Because, and I told my team last year when we faced them, if you feel uncomfortable, just punt it in the stands. Just don't have live ball turnovers. Just see how far you can punt it. and let them face our defense. But you can't give them those live ball turnovers. And we face pressure every day. We're going to face it for 40 minutes, and then we've got to find ways to put pressure back on them. And it's going to be a two-way street now. It's not just going to be them. And we're going to have to fight and compete and do those things.
What are these games like when you go against your friends?
Oh, I hate them. I'm not a very big fan of them. You know, and I'll say the same thing that I said last year because I believe it's true. We'll hug before, shake hands. We'll fight like heck for the guys that are playing in our colored uniforms and the name on the front, and we'll hug and shake hands after. And he's a dear friend. I talk to him often, and yet I know how competitive he is, and I'm not any different. So they're not fun. I don't enjoy that part of it, but it's much easier to get angry with guys that you don't necessarily care for, but I genuinely love that guy. So, you know, but for 40 minutes or however long it takes, be a good smackdown. We're going to have fun.
They've signed on to do it twice a year.
Yeah. Oof.
Thomas has continued to build confidence offensively. He even made his first two-pointer of the season today. What do you see his potential going forward heading into Big 12 play?
I think you better account for him when he checks in, you know, and I think that's something that you start shooting at that clip and making those shots, and you know, he's got a rare ability. He doesn't have to have his feet straight. He doesn't have to have his shoulders square. He's got tremendous hand-eye coordination. He's got great range. You know, and I've found myself when he checks in just wanting to run stuff to him, you know, wanting to create opportunities. And yet sometimes the best opportunities are in transition. And, you know, when he's in the ballgame, that's going to create space for Juwan and Brandon. And, you know, now we get Phil going and making shots, and that becomes a pretty lethal weapon on the perimeter. And he did have it too, which was when he adds that part to his game, as good a free throw shooter as he is, and makes him very difficult to guard.
How have you seen Mitchell gel now coming off the bench with all the rebounds and stuff?
Mitch on the court is a big advantage for us. I think you see that, and that's not to take anything away from Lucas, because Lucas helps us. But he had a bad foul tonight. We just reached and grabbed. He's got to commit that. Got to quit that. But he's a big body. He's wide. He's physical. He's got great hands in traffic. He's got a unique ability to go get the ball in traffic, and I've got to do a better job of getting him involved on the offensive end because he's very gifted offensively. And his presence helps us. Our guys have confidence in him. Our guys know that we've got a great chance to get a rebound. And he keeps possessions alive, and he fans it out and kicks it for threes. And, you know, I think Phil got a 3 off an offensive rebound. Those are possessions you don't have to account for as a coach. You know, you're not facing their defense. And so there's tremendous what do we have tonight? 21 offensive rebounds. He has 9. That's yeoman's work. That is a big time effort. And did it against a really good player. So we'll hope that continues every night. And now, like I told him, now I know you can get 9 a night. I expect 9 a night.